All right, let's talk Netflix. Their latest quarterly report just dropped, and we're going to dig in and find out what's really going on behind the big numbers. From their core business to a surprise profit miss and their huge bet on live sports. You know, the headlines told one story. But if you look a little closer, something way more interesting is happening. So the real question we're going to tackle is, how did Netflix actually do this past quarter? So at first glance, things look incredible. Top-line revenue shot up a super healthy 17% compared to last year. That's a huge sign of just how fast they're still expanding.
And just to put that 17% in perspective for you, we are talking about a massive $11.5 billion in just 3 months. This scale is just wild. But, revenue's only half the story. Let's look at the profit. So the company reported an operating margin of 28.2%. Now, for a business that is spending billions and billions on content, that is a really strong number. It shows just how profitable the whole operation is.
Okay, but here's the twist. That really impressive 28.2%, it actually missed their own forecast. And the reason, well, it's a bit of a surprise, and it came all the way from Brazil.
Yep, it all comes down to this totally unexpected, one-time thing that we're calling the Brazilian tax surprise. But before we get into the nitty-gritty, let's just quickly get on the same page about a key term here.
So, operating margin. All it really is a way to measure how much profit a company makes from its main business. For Netflix, that's streaming shows and movies, before you factor in stuff like interest and taxes. The higher the number, the better. Okay, now let's see what messed with that number.
And boom, here it is, straight from their letter to shareholders. A massive $619 million expense from a tax dispute down in Brazil. This was a complete one-off. It wasn't in their plans, and it totally skewed the headline number.
And this right here, this reframes the entire quarter. The number they reported was 28.2%. But if you just pull out that one-time tax hit, their actual profitability was 33.5%. That's way above what they even predicted. So the big takeaway is that the core business was actually even stronger than they thought.
But look, strong financials don't happen in a vacuum. They're fueled by one thing: content that grabs our attention. And in Q3, Netflix wasn't just competing for viewers. They were absolutely dominating what you could call the eyeball war.
I mean, it all starts with K-Pop Demon Hunters. This thing pulled in 325 million views, which makes it their most popular movie of all time. Just incredible.
And then you've got the power of nostalgia firing on all cylinders with Happy Gilmore 2. It scored a ridiculous 126 million views in its opening weekend.
And they're crushing it in live events, too. The Canelo versus Crawford fight, it pulled in 41 million viewers. That proves they can be a real heavyweight in sports broadcasting.
So what does all that success add up to? Well, here it is. Their slice of the total TV viewing pie just keeps getting bigger, hitting new records in both the US and the UK. They are consistently taking more and more of our screen time away from everybody else.
So what's the secret sauce here? How are they pulling this off? Well, their strategy is getting clearer and, honestly, way more ambitious. It's all about building massive franchises and then pushing into brand new territory, like live sports.
Just look at K-Pop Demon Hunters again. It is the perfect case study. It wasn't just a movie. No way. It spun off a #1 hit song, it was one of the top Halloween costumes, and it led to these huge toy and clothing deals. So you see, Netflix isn't just making movies anymore. They're building entire cultural universes from the ground up.
So the strategy really boils down to this: creating these huge, can't-miss cultural events. In a world where our attention is scattered everywhere, they know these are the moments that get everyone talking and really create value.
And they are going all in on this live strategy. I mean, coming up, they've got exclusive NFL games on Christmas Day, plus another monster boxing match. They are seriously becoming a destination for major live sports.
All of this paints a picture of a company with just incredible momentum, right? But what's next? What's on the horizon? Well, let's look at their game plan for the future. It's all about innovation and growth. Their blueprint for the future seems to be built on 3 main pillars. First, use AI to actually make your experience better. Second, grow that advertising business into a powerhouse. And third, finish the year with a slate of content that is basically impossible to ignore. And on the AI front, this isn't just some buzzword for them. They're already testing stuff like conversational search, so you could just describe a movie you want to see.
They're also using it to give creators new tools and to make ads more relevant to you, which is so important for making that ad-supported plan a huge success.
And to deliver on that blockbuster promise for the holidays, just look at this lineup. The final season of Stranger Things, the next Knives Out movie, a new Guillermo del Toro film. They are ending the year with some of the biggest shows and movies they've ever had.
So when you put it all together, the picture becomes really clear. Even with that headline miss on the profit, the business underneath is incredibly strong. Their content engine is just firing on all cylinders, and they have a super focused plan for what's coming next. And that leaves us with one final massive question. Netflix is proving it can create global hit movies and become the place to watch huge live events. So as they get better and better at both of those things, what is it going to take for anyone else, another streamer, a social media app, even regular TV, to even get a chance to compete for our attention? It's a question that's probably going to define the next few years of entertainment.